Hey, everybody. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the show. I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor with Where's Walter Travel. We book your land, luxury, cruise, and expedition. And tonight, we're going to be talking about our amazing group cruise that we've got set up for October of 2026. This was by popular request. We got so many requests to say, Walt, when are you going to the Mediterranean? Well, we're going to the Mediterranean, and we're going to do it in October of 2026. And I hope you all are going to come along. Now, I've got a very special guest tonight, somebody who usually does not join me on Thursday nights. We've got Rebecca sitting right off camera. She's still not going to come on camera, but she's going to sit over there. She's doing a lot of the research. She's waving. You can say hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, if you're new to the channel, again, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent, and we book everything for you. Our services are 100% free. I invite you to subscribe, like, share, do all those wonderful things that whatever social channel you're watching us on right now wants you to do. And I will say that wherever you're watching me, there should be a link in the description to get to this cruise. We've got a whole web page on it. You can actually see the rooms. You can see the pricing. You can see everything about this cruise. And we just thought tonight, we will go ahead and do a deep dive into it. We might also touch upon like two of our other long group cruises, but we're going to talk about Italy and Croatia predominantly tonight. If you've got questions about this, certainly do jump in and ask questions. I can't wait. Somebody's here from Scotland. Oh, my word. Hello. How are you? One of the things I love about doing this show, I never know where y'all are going to be tuning in from. So welcome.
She could message with an accent.
Yeah, I can't message with an accent, but I had David Tennant's voice in my head. How about that? Scrooge McDuck, him doing Scrooge. Yes, I love that. But welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. But again, so tonight we're going to be talking a bit about our group cruise that'll be happening in October. So it's October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026. We're going to start out in Ravenna, which is about 2.5 hours from Venice. They call it Venice, but now they're starting to stop.
Don't even call it Venice.
Yeah, they're starting to stop because it's so far away. So it's about 2.5 hours away from Venice. And then we're going to go down to Croatia. We'll hit Split and Dubrovnik. Then we go to Montenegro, Kotor, Montenegro. Go to Messina, Italy, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, and then finally end up in Civitavecchia. And I think there's 2 sea days. So the whole thing is 10 nights. Mm-hmm. And we thought we'd walk you through it a little bit tonight. So I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive. Any questions you have about this, please just jump in and go ahead and ask. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drop this up here. Let's get this graphic off of here for the moment.
I think Alex might be lying about it being sunny and warm in Ohio.
Sunny and warm in Ohio. I don't know.
He might be kind of stretching the truth.
Might be stretching the truth just a little bit. Rick is here. Rick has a cool story. Rick served on the USS Constellation, and he's actually going on a cruise on the Celebrity Constellation. He thought it would be fun to go on the Celebrity Constellation cruise ship at some point. That's really awesome. I love that story so much. Hopefully, Rick, we can get you to come on this one. That'll be awesome. So here's the route. It is going to be, again, we're going from Ravenna. We'll come down to Split, Dubrovnik. We'll go to Kotor. We'll come around to Messina. We come up the Amalfi Coast, to Salerno. You got Portofino. You got La Spezia. You got Rome. And we'll go through some of the places that you can hit with all of these very shortly as well. So that's 10 nights. That's going to be 10 nights. And just to jump ahead slightly, you can actually do a back-to-back with us if you'd like and stay on the ship for 25 days because the very next sailing, the Constellation is going to reposition the San Juan for the winter season, and she's going to have 4 stops in Spain and Morocco before we come over, and we actually stop in St. Martin for a day before we get to San Juan. So if you wanted to make this a 25-day cruise, you could. But the group itself is going to be the 10 nights right there. We got Ravenna, Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, the Amalfi Coast in Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, and then finally ending up in Rome, which is Civitavecchia. Let me see. I can't see the comment to do the graphic at the same time. 75 degrees in Iowa. What?
Maybe Ohio isn't that cold.
Wow. So Betty is coming along on this cruise. Rick is thinking about it. Rick, just stop thinking about it. Just book it. You know the drill. Just book it. So that is the cruise that we're going on. So let's take a look at our home for this cruise. This is Celebrity Constellation. She's 90,000 gross tons. So for those of you who actually came with us on the Margaritaville cruise, or maybe you've gone on the Carnival Spirit class, she's actually slightly smaller than that, which is going to be really fun. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. One, you want to be on a small ship when you're going around the Mediterranean, but two, it's going to be a pretty small ship to come across the ocean on. So it's going to be really interesting doing that. So she's just under 1,000 feet long. She's 105 feet across. She can cruise at 24 knots. Only 2,184 passengers at double occupancy. Just think about that. Less than 2,200 people. And she does feature the Aqua class and the Retreat. Now, of course, the Retreat's not, if you've been on the Edge class, it's not going to be like that at all. But they do have a version of the Retreat. Now, the one thing you said, they don't have a restaurant on this ship? Or they?
No, yeah, they do.
They do. Okay.
I think and I think they
have
do.
Lumine.
They don't have like a sun deck, but they have, I think they call it Michael's Club. So they have a little like kind of club area.
So this will be our home. Rebecca and I will be on the ship for 25 days, but for at least 10 days, you guys can certainly be on this ship with us. And it is going to be, I'll tell you what, I'm so looking forward. I've been wanting to go on this class of ship for quite some time. This is considered the Millennium class. Yes, she is an older ship. I believe she's actually due for dry dock right about now, but I couldn't find the information on that prior to coming on the show. So I apologize about that. But let's take a look at where we're going to go. So obviously we're going to start out in Ravenna. That's where we're going to start out. So if you want to spend some time in Venice, you would want to do that before the cruise. And in fact, one of the things that we're considering, more information to be announced later, but we're considering potentially flying into Rome, spend a few days in Rome, and then go on up to Venice, spend a few days in Venice, and then we're definitely going to overnight in Ravenna because, like I said, Ravenna is about 2.5 hours away. So we're definitely going to get to Ravenna the day before the cruise and just spend the night there. So we're there and we don't have to worry about, going 2.5 hours to get to the port and all that good stuff. So once we have those details, we will certainly pass them along to you. One of the cool things is that during that conference I went to a couple weeks ago with KHM Travel Group, I met one of our premier Italy tour partners, and he does like all this custom kind of stuff. So we're going to be talking to him to see what he can come up with for, I don't know, maybe 5 days, possibly 6 days before the cruise. Now, for those of you who are going to get off the ship after this cruise, certainly you can go to Rome after the cruise. We're going to go, if we go to Rome, it'll be before, because obviously we're going to stay on the ship and go all the way through to San Juan. So the first stop on this tour is going to be Dubrovnik and Split. We're going to be going to Croatia. For those of you who are Games of Thrones fans, I know the show hasn't been on for a little while, but a lot of the locations are there, especially in the old town. Some of them. Well, some of them are in the old town, especially.
They shot all over the place for that.
They did. They went all over Europe is what they did for that one. But this was one of the, I can't remember which city it was. This was one of the big cities that appeared in the show.
We were not watchers.
We didn't watch the show. I know. We were like those two people in all of the United States before we ever saw. Betty loves the idea of the before and after tours. Yes. And in fact, even if you just want to come in and join us in Venice, again, and the guy's name is Loca. I love it. His name is Loca. And he puts on all these private tours over in Italy. So we're going to be chatting with him about that. And if those of you who are coming in just want to join us in Venice, or maybe you want to do your own thing, I mean, we can just set up. You don't have to do what we're doing. You can just tell us what you want to do. We pass it on to Loca, and Loca will put together a whole itinerary just for you. So I'm really excited about this. But again, so you got the Game of Thrones. We don't really know it, but the historic wall is in Old Town. Pretty much every stop here that you see, there's going to be wine involved. So you guys can really sample a lot of wine. There's food at every stop, wine. Obviously.
There's churches, monasteries, Roman sites.
Churches, monasteries, forts, old stuff. There's a ton of old stuff over there in Europe. So if you're a history buff, especially, oh my goodness, there's so much to see over in Europe. But these are just some of the highlights.
And apparently in Ravenna, Dante's tomb is there.
Oh, Dante's tomb is in Ravenna. How about that?
I was fortunate never to have been forced to read Dante in high school or college, but
Dante's tomb.
But
There's
I
another
know
thing
of
to
it.
go see. But that will be our first 2 stops on our journey. Then we'll head over to Kotor, Montenegro, where you've got UNESCO and historic sites pretty much at every one of the ports that we're going to stop at. This particular one, Rebecca found out some of these things that we're highlighting, these are actually celebrity tours. And that's part of the reason why we're highlighting them. But we didn't even go off and look at some of the independent tours or anything like that. These are actually some of the celebrity.
which we will
thing.
probably look at once we have time to get a deeper
But this
dive.
gives you a good sense of what you can even just do just with celebrity alone. They have a cooking class with a local chef, which sounds fun. Again, you got Old Town, and then they have this like world-renowned organic farm where you can do food tasting and things like that. What was it called? It was. Did you have the name of that one? Was that a different one? The farm. Okay, no. I think it was a different one. And again, wine tasting. So this is a good cruise if you want to get drunk on wine at every single port. I mean, if you want to sample wines, oh my goodness. Hey, there's Deb. Deb is looking forward to seeing Venice and traveling on the ship. Your first celebrity cruise was on the Summit. Yeah, that is a sister to the Constellation, and you really enjoyed that ship. I'll tell you what, people who go on these ships, I'll pop it up there again just so you can see it again. They love this class of ship. And one of the cool things it has, and you can't really see it in the picture, it has outward facing elevators, glass elevators that go up and down. And I love that kind of stuff, man. Just kind of going up and down the elevators with the glass. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. But what a beautiful little ship. This is going to be, for those of you who are used to the really big ships, it's almost going to be like a yacht for some of you guys doing that. So,
and I had thought originally that because the Constellation has been in Tampa for the winter season, but apparently the Summit and the Constellation are switching places, and the Constellation's going to do the San Juan, and the Summit will be in Tampa.
We were kind of hoping the Constellation was going to come all the way around to Tampa, because that would have been real convenient for us to get home. But flying home from San Juan is a heck of a lot easier than flying home from Rome. So we just decided, you know what, we're going to stay on the ship for another 15 days.
And we've never done a transatlantic, so.
See, we're gonna knock off 2 things with this one. We're gonna do our first med cruise and our first transatlantic cruise all in one shot. Check. We're ready. Plus, we're gonna do some land stuff in Italy. Check. Yes, Kaylin, this is gonna be an awesome cruise. So, thank you, Betty. That sounds awesome. So our next stop on the hit, man, check this out. How freaking gorgeous is this, for crying out loud? Messina. There are Godfather locations. I mean, the Godfather still holds a place even in today's world. What is it? Taormina? Is that how you say it? That's actually a picture.
We apologize for any and all mispronunciations because we're silly Americans and don't know any better.
I'm trying. My family's from Italy, but I don't know
any better either.
So Taormina, that's actually a picture of it. You're looking at a picture of it right now. What a freaking amazing location. It doesn't even look like it's real. It looks like it's a movie set. And then, of course, more wine tasting and more culinary. So there's just going to be wine and food in a lot of these places. So just get ready to eat.
Yeah. Having been to Walter's Italian family a few times, food is always involved. Food, and usually more than you want.
Food is always going to be involved. I mean, that's just the way of the world. That's just how it works. So yeah, it's going to be involved. So let's see. So after Messina, where do we go? We go to Salerno. Salerno is going to be your gateway to go to Pompeii, which is what you're looking at right there. You can go to Herculaneum. You can go down to the Amalfi Coast. And Rebecca found an olive oil and mozzarella tasting tour. I think you know what we're probably going to do. Although I definitely want to go see some of these places. And of course, when you're on a cruise, you do have limited time. So you got to make choices. And some of these, we do have pretty good times in a lot of these ports where maybe there's an opportunity to do a couple of things. But that is part of the thing, about the cruise. Maybe you're just going to have to decide, what am I going to do and what am I not going to do?
Generally don't have the energy these days for more than one tour.
She doesn't. I do. I can do more than one, but Rebecca's probably going to kind of chill. But we'll be going to Salerno as our 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, our fifth stop. Wow, we're already up to the fifth stop. So this will be your gateway for the Amalfi Coast. This is where you're going to get to go to Pompeii, Herculaneum. Again, that olive oil and mozzarella tasting. I mean, you can pretty much find wine tasting and some sort of a food something at every single stop along the way.
And beautiful churches.
Churches. I mean, if you're a history buff, man.
That's one thing you can count on. Back in the day, they built a lot of beautiful churches.
They did, and they knew how to build them back then. That's for sure. So where are we going next? We're going to go to Portofino. Portofino, and we think that's Cinque Terre. Again, I'm going to butcher some. That's going to be part of this group. I'm going to learn how to say some of these things correctly. I'm going to ask the locals. And, my family is from Calabria, which is in southern Italy. So we had another cruise that we were looking at that actually would have basically pulled into my hometown. But it just didn't work for multiple reasons. And then we saw this one with the back-to-back with the transatlantic, and it was kind of a no-brainer. We'll go do this one. But so Cinque Terre, you can go to Genoa, and then there will be a lot of coastal water trips in this particular location. And we didn't put it in there, but there's wine tasting, there's food, there's
churches,
UNESCO, churches, forts, you name it.
Roman
there's all
sites.
kinds of stuff. Roman sites. Lots of, you figure Roman sites in Italy? What? Yeah.
Hey, there's Roman sites in Croatia too.
There are, because they kind of ran amok over there for a while. So this is going to be Portofino. This will be another stop. Then we go to La Spezia, which will get you to Pisa. That'll get you to Florence and Tuscany. And this is interesting. Rebecca found a Carrara marble 4x4 tour. Sounds interesting. Going to have to deeper dive into that to see what that's all about.
I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah, Rebecca's not a 4x4 person, but I certainly am. Those of you who have seen my mud bugging, yeah, I'm looking forward to mud buggies again. We're doing that plan hopefully for May when we go down on the.
Having a hard time finding the
right one, but I'm going to find it. Doggone it, and I'm going to go do it. But this will be stop. I don't know. This will be actually the last stop before the end of the cruise. So again, this will be your gateway to Pisa, Florence, Tuscany. I'm going to do some deeper diving into that Carrara marble 4x4 tour, see what that's all about. And of course, more wine and culinary tasting before we finally end up the first phase of the group cruise itself will end up in Civitavecchia, which will be your gateway to Rome and all things Rome. Now, Rebecca and I will be staying on the ship on this day because hopefully we will have already gone to Rome before the cruise.
But that and just the distance away that Rome is, and we wouldn't end up with much time this.
No, you go do a tour. Go do a tour. I don't think we leave till like 7:00 at night. Yeah, I thought it was something later. No,
it's earlier than that. It's like 5 or 6.
Okay. Deb saying that she went to Cinque Terre on a royal cruise in the summer. It was gorgeous. I'm sure it'd be even better in the October when it's not 90 degrees. Now that's a great point, and that's one of the reasons why we are going at this time, because we want to go off season. There's two big reasons to go at this time. I mean, number one, you want to go in the off season, so it's not like 5 million people all running around there. But number two, it's hot. Kind of like being here in Orlando. We don't want to just go from Orlando and go straight into the same thing in the Med. So it's going to be much, much cooler at this time of year. So that's a very good point that you bring up, Deb. And another big reason why we're doing it. Now, do we have group rates on this cruise? We do. However, it is only so Celebrity has what they call the all-included package. That's a horrible name for it because it's not. What it includes is basic Wi-Fi, and it includes their basic drinks package. That's what's in the all-included package. And what Celebrity does is they give us a group rate on that. So if you book the room with just the cruise fare, it's going to be the exact same fare as you would see online. But if you want to book it with the all-included package, we get up to $400 off whatever it is with the package. So there is the savings. That's actually not bad. Once you figure it all out, that's actually not bad. So, and if you're somebody who gets Wi-Fi and maybe you want to have a couple of drinks, it might work out.
And it does include the specialty coffees and
it does include specialty
bottled
coffees.
Water.
Yeah, it does. So that is the group rate. And I believe on the site, I might have to update them, but if you go to the website, where'swaltertravel.com, go to group travel, or there's going to be links in the description wherever you're watching me right now. I believe the rates are in there. We might have to update them, but they'll be pretty close to what they were. But yeah, so we have a whole new system online. You can literally go ahead and you can review the whole cruise on our website. Then you can go through the whole process of picking your room, and you can even authorize the deposit payment all in one shot without even reaching out to us. Like if you know, yes, I want to go and I know exactly what room I want to be in, you can literally just go right in and do it like tonight and set yourself up, and then we book you tomorrow, just like that. And we've got the aqua. I think we've got an aqua. Do we have an aqua? No, we have concierge in the group. So
because we wanted to try and get the same cabin for both legs of this cruise, and it just worked out better to do the concierge.
Exactly. So Alex is asking about deals for solos. No, Celebrity's not running any low supplement deals on this one. So you will be paying whatever that solo. I don't know if it's the full 200%, but it's pretty close. Celebrity is not solo friendly except on the Edge class ships. That's where they're much more solo friendly. Yeah. So you would basically be paying almost the same price as two people. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way it is on this particular cruise. So, but like I said, we chose this one because of the routes. We were actually looking very strongly at Princess for a while. We were looking at Azamara for a while, but then Princess just had terrible itineraries. Like that probably would have been our first choice over there had they had good itineraries, but they just really didn't have an itinerary that got us excited.
It was a lot of 7-day things.
Yeah, it was a lot of 7, and we were trying to do a 10-day because, I mean, if you're flying that far, I want to spend at least 10 days in Italy.
And the ships were royal class. So, there was the Enchanted Princess, I think, and the Sun Princess. So they were a little bigger than we wanted.
Yeah, we were trying to get a smaller ship. That was one of the reasons why we were looking at Azamara. Of course, we looked at Explora, but Explora didn't quite. The cool thing is, had we been able to do Explora actually sails out of basically Venice. It's like right across the harbor from Venice, and that would have been kind of cool just to sail away from there and go on out. But that would have been super cool. But we just couldn't quite. Again, we could not quite find the itinerary.
They're still kind of. They'll only have 3 ships at that point, so they're still kind of building up their itineraries.
Correct. So they're still building up the itineraries with that. So let me just get this, see if I can get this other graphic to show up. I don't know if I can, but I'll try. Oh, nope, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pushing buttons over here. So that is the first half of the, that is the group. And then if you want to stay on the ship, I'll just put that map back up because I don't have this other graphic that I had made. But if you want to do the whole thing, if you want to just take the ship all the way back to San Juan, there is a back-to-back sailing. This would be 25 days on the ship. So you start out in Rome. We'll go to Valencia, Spain, Cartagena, Malaga. We'll go to Tangier, Morocco. I believe, 8 days coming across, something like that. Mm-hmm. Then we'll hit St. Martin, which will be kind of fun, right? You get a little Caribbean, and then finally you end up in San Juan. And we might just go ahead and stay in San Juan for a day or two. You never know. We've never really spent time in San Juan other than the time on the ships. So it might be nice. Certainly not flying home the day that we arrive. Maybe just stay one night so we can at least, go explore and see things and do stuff like that. So that is the back-to-back on there. And again, I'll go ahead and put this map up again. This is the group cruise that we're doing right now from Italy. So we'll be sailing from Ravenna to Split to Dubrovnik to Kotor to Messina to the Amalfi Coast to Portofino, La Spezia, Rome. Has anybody done any of these yet? Have anybody been to these places yet? We have not been over there yet. So I would love to know if you all have actually been over there yet and have spent some time, and especially if you have any advice. But I would really encourage you all to come join us on this one. It's gonna be kind of cool. There's one thing about going to the Mediterranean, then there's another thing about being part of a group. And we're really enjoying. If you go to our group travel page, you'll notice, geez, they've got a lot of groups going on, and we do. But we're really enjoying traveling with others and traveling, with a kind of a pre-built little family, if you will. And actually, speaking of which, just real quick, I'll change topics real quick just to mention we have 2 other I think my ride's here. We got two other very long group cruises or longer group cruises. We're going to be doing Quebec to Miami. So this is basically a Canada New England cruise, which will also stop in Charleston and then we'll end up in Miami. So that's 13 days in October, October 3rd through the 16th, 2025. That'll be on the Virgin Voyages Brilliant Lady, only at like the 5th cruise on her. So if you're interested in doing Canada New England, but you'd like to do something a little bit longer, this one's actually going to reposition the ship from Quebec all the way down to Miami.
And just kind of to side note things, I was looking at tours, various tours for this. The Virgin tours aren't out yet, so I couldn't look at those. But I did find one in Quebec that is goat hiking. You go hiking in a nature area with this guy and his dog and his 3 goats.
Do you remember where that was?
It was out of Quebec. I
don't know Quebec.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this one. Okay.
So you could go goat hiking.
And this one, we're actually kind of doing something a little similar to what I described before. We're actually going to fly into Montreal for 2 days. We're going to take the train to Quebec, and then we're going to spend 2 days in Quebec before we get on the ship. So we're doing a whole pre-tour because I've never been to Montreal. I've never been to Quebec. Mm-hmm. We're really looking forward to that before we get on the ship and come on around.
It's definitely worth checking out when you're looking at, if you're doing this, looking at flights, checking out Montreal versus Quebec, because we got much better flights and much cheaper flights into Montreal than we could have in Quebec. And we're going to take the train in between the two. I think it's about a 3-ish hour train ride.
So excited. It's a 3-hour tour. And Alex mentioned the new shows. Virgin Voyages just released the shows. In fact, yesterday, the Brilliant Lady is going to have 5 brand new shows that look phenomenal, including a murder mystery. There's going to be like a 20s jazz era supper club. Just some really interesting sounding shows. I mean, they're really starting to change. They've heard that, hey, you're doing the same old, same old. So they're going to have some brand new shows on the ship, and you're going to have 13 days. So we're probably going to see things that you normally wouldn't on the shorter cruises. So that's going to be amazing. Then we have one more long cruise, longer group cruise, and this is Hawaii. If you have interest in going to Hawaii, we're going to do this in February 4th through the 20th of 2026. And again, just like the other two, we're going to be flying in early because it's Disneyland's 70th birthday. And I've never been to Disneyland. So we're going to go and we're going to spend some time in Disneyland before we do Hawaii. So we're going to sail out of Los Angeles. We'll go to Honolulu, Hilo, Kahului, Kauai. And then, of course, we've got to go to Ensenada. This one has 10 sea days. So if you want to do a transatlantic without actually having to do a transatlantic, this is basically it. You're going to do 5 days out to Hawaii. We're going to spend 4 days around the island. We're going to spend 5 days back, spend a day in Ensenada, and then finally come back to Los Angeles. I am really looking forward to this one because we live by Disney World, but I've never been to Disneyland. And I know Disneyland will fit in the parking lot of the Magic Kingdom. I know, but I don't care. I'm really excited to go see this one. I am so excited to go see this one. I'm just really freaking excited. So we've got three long cruises that we're doing with. This is the one that we're focusing on. I love this. Kathy said Montreal has an ice hotel during the winter months. I know, that's so cool, right?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be running when we're there.
No. SL destinations all sound great. I was just watching a program about Pompeii. So much still being discovered. I know. It's absolutely amazing. So there are, you said it would be worth a visit if there was enough time. I mean, there are specific tours that are going from, what is it, Salerno?
Salerno. Yeah,
so from Salerno, you can actually take a tour and go directly to Pompeii. Now, how much time will you have in there? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't write down the...
They've been getting a little better about telling you, in some cases, like you're actually going to have this much time at the whatever location, or, you're going to spend an hour here, then you're going to spend an hour there. They're starting to get a little bit better with that from time to time. I don't know if they did on this particular tours, but Salerno will be your gateway to Pompeii and to Herculaneum. That would be kind of tough, Herculaneum or Pompeii, because Herculaneum looks absolutely stunning as well.
Well, there was actually not a celebrity tour to Herculaneum, but I know that they're right next to each other, and they were both, buried by Vesuvius. Although I understand Herculaneum is much less crowded than Pompeii, although this time of year it may not matter.
Yeah, again, we're going right at the end. I mean, we're going basically after the season. I mean, all the big, all the main American tourists are gone. There's probably going to be a lot of Europeans on this particular cruise, but that is just one of the great reasons that we picked this date. I mean, you're like, wow, it's really late. In fact, Rebecca didn't even pick this date. She picked the date earlier, but I happened to notice that Celebrity was doing a second sailing on October 23rd, and I was like, wow, that's a really late cruise. I wonder if she's going to be crossing right after that. And sure enough, she was doing the back-to-back crossing. That kind of sealed it for me because it's like, I really want to do a transatlantic. I really want to do Europe. So the only thing that we're not getting in this tour is we're not actually stopping in my hometown. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get to my hometown on this one, but that's okay.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think it's too far away, but that's okay. That's the only thing I'm not going to get on this one. But this is it. And again, our group rates are tied to the package, what they call the all-included package. That's your basic Wi-Fi. That is your basic beverages. And that's where we've got something like up to $400 off. I think it's depending on kind of like when you book it and also depending on, I think, the category. What do we have? We have balcony and concierge, right? I think that.
I believe. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've got balcony and the concierge.
I think we have some aqua class too, I thought.
Did we grab an aqua class? I honestly can't remember. Maybe we did. If anybody's looking at the website, you can see. I meant to bring up, I actually meant to bring up the site because I wanted to actually share some stuff with you guys. In fact, I'll just bring it up right now while we're chatting. And if you guys got some questions while we're doing that, certainly.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Feel free to ask.
Basic non-suite balcony-ish categories.
I think we did, and I did actually want to show you guys. Let's see if I can share the screen. I'm gonna share a window. I'm gonna share this one.
Not that we can't book insides or ocean views or even suites. They can all be booked and moved into the group. Just don't have group rates of any kind on them.
There you go. All right, now I'm in, and at this point, I can't really see what you guys are saying, but that's okay. So this is it, and this is the website that when you click that link on our site, this is where it's going to take you to. So here you go. So it's by popular demand. There's everything about the cruise. Everything that I've talked to you guys about is all right here. You can even watch this amazing video with Celebrity Cruises about cruising to Italy. Now, if you want to actually book or look through the pricing, if you want to just look at the pricing, just come to the bottom where it says full itinerary and just click on that. It will bring you to the full itinerary where the rooms will be located right here. Now, this pricing may need to be updated, but you can actually go ahead and take a look at the pricing right there on the site. So if you missed what I did, let me go back. So you can click on full itinerary right there. Or if you want to go ahead and actually book today, you just use this little button. Click book your spot today, and then you go through this whole process. And at the end of the process, it's going to say, hey, go ahead and enter your credit card authorization, and then we can go ahead and book you and pay the deposit. And off you go.
If you need to talk over some options with Walter, you can set up a meeting.
Click there and book an appointment. Oh, and we are no longer attending this conference. I guess I should get that off the page. The things you learn when you're on live television. Okay. But that is the site. When you click that link, it's going to bring you right here, and you can learn everything that you want to know about this particular cruise. The things I learned when I don't realize things are still on my website. So let me stop that, bring that back up. So there you go. I hope you guys are excited. I'm really excited about this one. In fact, I'm excited about all of our groups. We've got so many groups that are running right now.
A couple of them are
Tonys.
Loca.
I know we got a couple of Tonys over there that are absolutely fabulous. In fact, I should have just, I've got them all right here anyway. But yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to go to Italy because that is my home country, or my grandfather's home country. I'm just second generation American. Yeah, so all my grandparents came from Italy and Russia, And then my parents were born here, and then I was born here. So that's kind of cool. And now I'm like just beyond excited to go on this. And I'm really excited to share this with some of you. What's been kind of cool about going on all these group cruises is that some of you are starting to come on multiple cruises with us, and that is so awesome. So we get to compare notes, and we get to see you again. It's almost like a little homecoming. I'm really loving that aspect of it. And what I'll do, we're at the bottom of the hour, so I'll remind you guys that I am Walter, your independent travel agent. We book all land, luxury, cruise, and expedition. Our services are 100% free to you. You can set up an appointment with us. There are links in the description down below. And we invite you to subscribe, like, share, and do all of those wonderful things. We are travel partners with the Sean and Stef channel, Stephanie Mullen, the Loca channel, which is Tony and Jenny B. In fact, I just found out Jenny B's parents are from Arthur Avenue, New York. That is so cool, in the Bronx. And then, of course, Cruise RX with Peter Jones, and we thank all of them for their amazing support. And, of course, we thank you guys for all of your amazing support. But what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and walk through these destinations again. And, in fact, for those of you who just tuned in a little bit later, I'll walk through some of the information that we've gone over. So first, I'll just bring up the map again. We've been looking at the map quite a bit tonight, but we're going to start out in Ravenna, go Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Amalfi Coast, Portofino, La Spezia, and then finally end up in, I love it, we're going to end up in Rome. They're going to bring the ship right on in. It's going to be spectacular. All of these big, massive cranes are going to come in and just move the ship right into Rome. I love the fact.
Is it like those aqua cars? They're just going to.
Just look at the map. They literally have the ship going right into land up to Rome. That's phenomenal. I cannot wait to see how they do this. Maybe wings are going to pop out of the ship and just go up there. First person that gets a cruise ship to Rome wins. But obviously, we'll be stopping in Civitavecchia. Our home for this cruise is going to be the amazing Celebrity Constellation. She was built in 2002. So, yeah, is she an older ship? Absolutely, she's an older ship.
But I will say our friends Zach and Mindy went on it over New Year's, and they loved the ship. So.
Absolutely loved it. And everybody who's been on the ship has absolutely loved it. They take good care of these ships. Is she going to show her age? Yeah, I'm sure if you're looking for her, she's going to show her age. Just like, the Margaritaville Islander, she shows her age. But that's not what we're there for. We're not there to nitpick the ship. We're there to go spend time in Italy. And I just can't wait to do that. Again, only 90,000, just about 91,000 gross tons, under 1,000 feet long. That is short for a big ship, but only less than 2,200 on the ship at full capacity. That's insane. And I have no idea how many people are going to be on the crossing. That's what I'm really interested in. How many people are going to be on the crossing on the way back? But just because she's a small ship doesn't mean she doesn't have the Aqua class. And she does also have the retreat. Now, the retreat is not as extensive as it is on the big ships, but you're still going to get your Lumine restaurant. And I believe it's Michael's
Club, I believe.
And you may or may not have your own sun deck.
I don't think so.
I don't think, because there's just not a much sun deck space to begin with. But just like her bigger sibling, she does have an indoor solarium pool.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
That's our favorite part. That solarium pool is phenomenal. And she does have the glass elevators. And what I actually love, let me just bring this big again. If you look back where the funnel is, where the big X is, and you see the two things that pop up with glass, I believe that's the top of the glass elevators. You can ride the glass elevators all the way up to the top deck, and they just had to build those little things that pop up so that the elevator could go all the way to the top. I absolutely love that. So again, we're going to start off in Croatia. If you are a fan of Game of Thrones, there are locations. And in fact, the city that you're looking at, the old town that you're looking at, I know was one of the main cities or something like that. They digitally put a big castle in the back. They put a big fortress in the middle of it and all this stuff. But this particular old town was one of the major featured realms, I think, if you will. And, of course, you can do a historic walk in the old town. There is wine and food everywhere.
Churches.
Everywhere. And churches and forts and old stuff. Lots of old stuff. Then we'll be going to Kotor, Montenegro. Again, UNESCO and historic sites. There is a cooking class with a local chef. Old town and organic farm. Wine, more wine. You can drink wine to your heart's content. Look at where that ship is docked. It is docked basically right in the heart of town. So hopefully that's where we're going to be. I don't know. That does look like an even smaller ship. So I don't know if we'll be right there, but hopefully we'll be docking right up in there. Then with Messina, you can go to Godfather filming. Oh my God, the Godfather. Taormina, maybe. So we're butchering that, but that is actually a picture of Taormina, however you say that. Look, it doesn't even look real. It looks like a set. It looks almost like a digital painting. Then, of course, there's wine tasting and culinary there as well. Then you go to Salerno, which is going to be your gateway to Pompeii and Herculaneum. The Amalfi Coast. Rebecca found an olive oil and mozzarella tasting there. Oh my God, I can't wait to do that. And then, of course, Portofino will be Cinque Terre, which is that picture right there. You can go to Genoa, and then there's a coastal water trip. I mean, everything is just so freaking beautiful. La Spezia is going to be your home to get to Pisa, Florence, Tuscany, Carrara Marble 4x4 tour, wine and culinary tasting. I mean, what I love about this, like that picture is actually an angle I don't think I've ever seen. It's actually kind of a cool shot. You usually just see the straight on of the tower, but I love that particular shot. And then at the end of the group tour, you will end up in Civitavecchia, which will be your gateway to Rome. If you want to stay on in Rome afterwards, you certainly can. And for those of us who will be going on and staying on the ship, we'll be taking the ship all the way across the ocean back to San Juan. Oh my goodness, 25 days on the ship. So yeah, that is going to be our fun next October.
Which that will be, and you want to be on one ship for 25 days.
Yeah, because when we did our 30 days at sea, we were not on one ship the entire time. We were actually on 3 different ships. So Rick says he's looking forward to the Aqua. The Aqua will be here before we know it, May 31st.
Yeah, Norwegian just took delivery of it from the shipyard today.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yep.
How about that?
So it is now official Norwegian ship.
It's officially a Norwegian ship. You know, a lot of people may not realize that the shipyard technically owns the ship until the handover. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, when Disney bought the Genting World Dream or Global Dream, whatever it was called, Genting didn't own it. The shipyard still had it. So the shipyard had to unload it. And it's a very interesting thing how the shipyard actually still technically owns the ship until that handover. So as of today, it is now a Norwegian Cruise Line ship. Tony should be heading over there soon to be on. I think he's going to be on one of the very first sailings. So he should be heading over very soon.
Our friends Rocky and Mark from This Cruise Life are going to be on one in April.
Rocky and Mark are going to be, if you're going out on one of the early sailings in April, our friends Rocky and Mark are going to be on there. So yeah, that's coming up. I mean, we're already halfway through March. So that is coming up. But yeah, we got that one coming. And then of course we're going to Alaska. I can't wait, which I guess if I'm talking about other things now, why not? Let me just bring that up because we actually still have space. So if you want to go to Alaska this year, you've been like, I really do want to go to Alaska this year. This is a heck of a trip. 12 days. Actually, this is another one of our long ones. 12 days round trip from Seattle, June 26th through July 8th, 2025. 12 nights, 8 ports. We're staying up to 14 hours in some of these ports. So, I mean, if you want time in Alaska, oh my gosh, you've got time. We were talking earlier about doing 2 excursions. You could probably do 3 or 4 if you wanted to. So we actually still have space on the sailing. Now,
can you tell we like long cruises?
Yeah, we like long cruises. Yeah, we really do.
For anybody who's ever wondering, I doubt that we will ever do a group cruise. Well, we did do the 6 days on Margaritaville, but generally 7's probably going to be the shortest.
Maybe. You never know. We might do a 3 or 4 nighter sometime because there's a lot of people who want to do those. And it would be kind of fun to get the group together and do that. Maybe Rebecca's just not going to come.
Well, that could be.
We could get Stephanie to do one. Stephanie would do a crazy one. But yeah, most of our group cruises are longer. I mean, they're going to be a minimum 7 days usually because that's what we like to do. Now, the next one that we would be announcing is most likely going to be a river cruise, but it won't be for a while because we've got all of these to get through. And we just kind of want to take a break from announcing group cruises. There are some other that we want to do, but I don't know if we'll announce them as a group cruise or not, or we'll just slip away and not tell anybody where we're going. I really want to do some more cruising with Tony and Jenny B. They are such incredibly lovely people.
I know they're wanting to figure out another group cruise.
Yeah, they want to figure out another group cruise. I think they want to get through October with
Yeah.
their Canada, New England. So you got two choices for Canada, New England, actually, since we're talking about other things. If you want to go to Canada, New England, but you want it to be a little bit more of a traditional 7-nighter, here it is. The Enchanted Princess sailing October 11th through the 18th, 2025. In fact, we have a group hotel that everybody, quite a few people are going to be staying in the same hotel, and then we're going to get a bus or a shuttle, take everybody straight on over to the port. Interesting thing about this one, we don't know if it's going to be sailing out of Miami or Brooklyn. We won't know. Miami. Manhattan or Brooklyn. If you're sailing out of Miami, that's going to be a hell of a sailing.
If you didn't know that one, that's
wow. No, Manhattan or Brooklyn, apparently they're not going to know until 30 days out. Because right now, Brooklyn is showing the Cunard Queen Mary is going to be there, and I guess it can only take the one ship. So, and Manhattan is full, so they're not really sure where the ship is going to sail out of.
maybe they're going to have captain's thumb wrestle to see who gets to have a berth.
We have a client who's actually on the Norwegian Getaway doing one of these, and I got the email today. They just completely changed the itinerary. Like not a single day is the same as what it was. And of course, they had to drop Bar Harbor. I was like, why are you booking cruises with Norwegian Getaway going to Bar Harbor when Bar Harbor says you can't bring a ship that big here? And the whole itinerary just completely flipped. So, but getting back to Tony and Jenny B. So this is October 11th through the 18th, round trip from New York City on the Enchanted Princess, which is a stunning Royal class ship. In fact, she was the last one. She's the newest one. It was the last ship they built before the Sun Princess. Absolutely gorgeous ship. So you'll be with Tony and Jenny B. They're really, a lot of people have been saying, so what are the group activities going to be? There's not going to be a whole lot because this is a port heavy cruise. There's only one sea day. So there's not a lot of time to do group activities. So everybody's pretty much going to be, doing the things.
They might do a group excursion.
Yeah. Alex is asking, are there any pre-group cruise plans for the October trip? No, actually there are not. A bunch of people are going to be arriving on the 9th and the 10th. But Tony and Jenny B are not going to do any sort of a planned activity because there's just so much to do in New York. They're just going to let people go do their own thing. I don't know if Tony and Jenny B have decided if they're going to show up if they're going to arrive on the 9th or the 10th.
Well, I got the impression they might be going to see some family.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. But they may be, I think I've got like 12 or 13 couples staying at that hotel the night before. Some of them will be staying 2 nights, but I don't think Tony and Jenny B are going to be putting together any pre-cruise plan. Now, the group might, but there won't be anything formal set up in New York. There's just so much to do. There's so much to do. I think most people are going to take my advice and download the TKTS app. Just go see a show. That's the best way to go see a Broadway show. Unless you really want to see Hamilton or you really want to see, one of the top shows and you're willing to pay for it. But one of the best ways to go see if you just want to go see a Broadway show, just download that TKTS app, see what's on the board, and then go get up to 40% off tickets. That is the way to go. And then, of course, if you would like to cruise with Tony and Jenny B out of Philadelphia, this will be the very first Philadelphia cruise in, I think, over 20 years. There's a lot of unknowns about this. Like, we don't even know what the terminal is. Is there going to be a terminal? Is it going to be a double wide? What are we going to be doing? We've heard in the past they've actually had tents set up, and that's where you go through. So we don't even know. Now, this one, Alex, you asked about the other one. This one, actually, we are planning potentially. The cruise is on Thursday. Definitely some of us are going to fly up on Monday, and I'm looking at getting like a food tour and a history tour, like one on each day. So we will have some pre-planned stuff there. But again, Philadelphia is so big and there's a lot to do. So people will certainly be out on their own, but I'm going to try to get some tours. Now, this one has like 270 people on it. Not everybody's going to come in on Monday. I think a lot of people are still going to come in on Wednesday. And there's a lot of people who live within driving distance. Yeah. They're just going to drive in day of the cruise kind of a thing too. So
that my mother lives, well, she technically is driving distance, but I think she's going to take the train.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to get there. So I would suspect that we might have upwards of maybe, 70 to 100 people staying on Monday through Thursday, which would be kind of cool. So we've got a lot of group cruises going right now. And so we're kind of just kind of dialing back on the group cruises just for the moment. Now, if any of you watching want to do a group cruise, we're also managing. We're scheduled to be on the Brilliant Lady September 10th through the 15th. That will be her second sailing. That'll be out of New York City. In fact, Nurse Tara, who's not here tonight, she's actually going to be on that sailing. I can't wait to meet her. But we're booking and managing 150 cabins on that particular sailing. And that's not our group. That is a corporate user conference going on there. And we're also talking to some people about potentially booking the entire ship for their event. They've got the big event they want to do. And we're talking to a couple of cruise lines right now about just chartering the whole ship. So if you have groups or events or things that you want to do on a ship that would involve, bringing a bunch of people on, we're happy to go ahead and set those up, but we're going to hold back on, setting up any more of our own. And probably the next one would be a river cruise. That's probably what the next one would be, because that's another thing you guys are all asking for.
Likely not till 2027.
Yeah. So probably
Although
not
I
till
did
27,
get,
but you never know.
I did get an email we're not going to do it because it's got too much going on in 26, but I did get an email today that Uniworld does mystery cruises.
Yes.
So you don't know, you know where it starts, you know where it ends. It's kind of a surprise in between.
And somebody does
that. Sounds like fun.
Somebody does that with Ocean, don't they? And they're like a small ocean line. So mystery cruises, just like she said, you know where you're going to start, you know where you're going to end, but you have no idea what the itinerary is. And sometimes I know, like with the ocean cruise, I think they don't even tell you until the night. Okay, here's where we're going tomorrow. That kind of a thing, which is like super cool. It's like, I have no idea where I'm going. Yeah, can you just imagine all those people who lose their ever-living mind because like one port gets missed going on a cruise like that? You don't even know where you're going. We don't even know if we missed a port or not. Were we supposed to stop somewhere today? I don't know. Those people really kind of, I know it is disappointing when you can't go to a port, but that's just something that you have to expect when you go on a cruise, because we can't control the weather. We can't control, like Virgin just sent out a notice today. There is a cruise that's going out in 3 days. They can't go to Costa Maya because there's some maintenance happening to the pier. So the ship can't tie up. So last minute, they swapped it. They're going to go to Belize City instead. Nothing Virgin can do about that. They can't physically go to Costa Maya because they can't tie the ship up. So they're going to go to Belize City instead. But yeah, Kathy, doesn't a mystery cruise sound fun? So, and of course with a river cruise, there's only so many places you can go. So, but with an ocean cruise, I would love to do an ocean cruise that way too. But yeah, that mystery cruise, either way, that would just be fun.
Yeah. Because they actually have 3 of them. They're coming up.
So when is it, in September?
No, they're coming up in April and May of 26.
Oh, April and May of 26. Oh, what do we got going on? Oh, Philadelphia.
And they have, I think, 2, like a 7 and an 8 day version, and then a 15-day version.
We got to get Tony and Jenny B. We got to get Tony and Jenny
So
B and
I'm
go do that one, don't you think?
Maybe they'll do something like that in 27. Although we may want to do Christmas Marketplace. So
I want to do that in 26.
That's not happening.
This is what I had. See, I'm the dreamer. She's the financial planner.
Well, we'll just barely have gotten back.
I know. So it'll be time to go on another one.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We don't even know what we're doing. We're still undecided if we're going to do something this year. We have not planned anything for Thanksgiving or Christmas yet. Past couple of years, we've done Christmas. We've done Christmas the past couple of years, and then last year we did New Year's, which was phenomenal. I loved it. I keep looking at the Explora itinerary. Go see what they're doing. But yeah, I would love to do something. And actually, we've been looking at Holland America. It's been so long since we've been on Holland America. Becca found a fabulous cruise for Thanksgiving. We're not sure if we're going to do it, but she has found a fabulous one that we're kind of looking at.
It's just, well,
there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people like to say, oh, travel agents, you get to go for free. No, we pay for these cruises. we pay full fare for most of them. Yeah. The only time we don't pay full fare is if we're invited onto the ship. That's it. But otherwise we're paying, like this, all of these celebrity cruises. So Eric wants to know which line has the mystery cruises.
Well, the one I was talking about was Uniworld River Cruises.
Right. She was talking about Uniworld River Cruises, but there was, I'm blanking on the ocean line. It's a small one. It's certainly a small one. Like it might have even been like a scenic or something like that. But they had an ocean mystery cruise as well. But she's talking about Uniworld, which is a river cruise line. I mean, a lot of times when you guys come to me for river cruises, that's certainly something that nobody has ever mentioned to me. Oh yeah, I'd like to go on a Uniworld cruise. Uniworld is a phenomenal river cruise line, and we have sent quite a few people on that cruise line after they look at apples to apples and they look at everything included, and then you look at the ship itself. Oh, Uniworld ships are gorgeous. So Betty's saying Sydney, Australia for New Year's. That's not happening. You know how I would love to do Australia? We won't have the time, but I would love to do Australia on Holland America. They do a round trip from San Diego. How cool would that be?
Or they have done it in the past.
It's still there.
Is it?
It's still there. I mean, I would totally do Holland America from San Diego. How cool would that be? I think it's 35 or 45 days. I mean, it's just a little bit longer than what we're going to do. So, so Rick said that he has done a river cruise at Christmas and he wants to do another one. I totally want to try that again. Alex wants to know when the Celebrity River Cruises are coming out. I believe they launch in the end of 26. I believe, or is it 27? Yeah, they're going to open for sale this year. That I know. They're going to open for sale this year because one thing we still don't know is if you have loyalty, on one of the 3 cruise lines, are you just going to jump right in at that level? Because remember, these ships only hold like 100, 150 people. They don't hold 5,000, 4,000, 3,000. So it's going to be interesting because if you have too many people that already have loyalty and can jump right into the ship, they'll basically be sold out right at launch. There's going to be 10 of them. Now, my other question is, where are they going to put them? Because Viking alone has 80 ships, and there are so many river ships. There's a lot of congestion on the rivers right now. Here comes Celebrity with 10 ships, and they said that's just a start. So it can be interesting. I'm going to be very curious to see how they're going to set up. It sounds like they said, it's going to be an all-suite ship. So it almost sounds like they're kind of doing the same idea as the Flora, where like maybe it's going to be all sky suites or something like that on the ship. So they might be bigger staterooms or maybe fewer people, but bigger staterooms. Who knows? So Kathy's saying that New Year's in Rome is spectacular. I bet it was. That would be cool. I would love to toy with the idea of buying one of those $1 homes and fixing it up and living in Italy. That would just be so cool. Rebecca does not see the appeal at all. I do. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
Stressful.
Just sitting out on my patio, booking all of your trips with my VPN, living in Italy. Of course, my whole clock would be so far off because I'd have to work on like US time. So that's okay. I don't sleep anyway. Look, my ride is coming again. What? I guess they missed me the first time. All right, folks, we've been going for an hour, so I should just stop rambling about this. But we wanted to come up here and say, hey, if you really want to go to Italy, we would love to have you come join us. Consider coming over early. I mean, I'm looking at maybe flying in, arriving 6 days early to do Rome and Venice so we can really see a lot of that. And then, of course, this cruise is just going to be, this will be one of my bucket list trips. And I just can't wait to get over there. So I hope you've enjoyed this hour. I hope you've learned a little bit more about this particular trip. And if you want to come join us, there are links in the description down below, or just simply go to where'swaltertravel.com. Go to that group's travel page. All of our groups are right there, and simply click on Italy and Croatia. Now, Italy and Croatia, Virgin Voyages, and the Enchanted Princess with Tony and Lido Loca, you can go ahead, pick your stateroom, and you can go ahead and put your deposit down all in one shot, or just simply set up a time with me, and I will walk you through everything. So thanks so much for tuning in tonight, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with us for an hour. We will be back on Sunday morning at 10:30 for our usual weekly cruise chat Q&A, answering all of your questions. Did you have fun, Rebecca?
Yay.
Yay. Who wants Rebecca to come back for more shows?
I'll be back on Sunday.
Yeah, she'll be back on Sunday. Yay, see how excited she is? I'll be back on Sunday. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great evening. We'll see you Sunday morning. Bye.